midway through the second half, Colin takes down Robbie Finley. He's already on a yellow card. To what extent did you think that he should have gotten a second caution?
Would I surprise you if I said I don't remember that play? It seemed like there was a lot of taking down by Colin throughout the match. Really, I thought undisciplined stuff in the first half. One time he didn't get called for a foul. But we knew what to expect, and I wasn't going to the referees asking for anything tonight. I don't think it was the night for it. I think it would have been wasted effort and wasted breath.
Just go ahead.
Not really on. Be loud.
The ball's off the woodwork. Did they make that tougher to take because of how many chances you had, and to see it bounce away like that?
To be honest, I think that this group is a little bit used to that. We've been in a lot of these games and had a lot of balls go off woodwork, and it's an unfortunate situation. It's you look at it in one way, it's a credit to what we do in the match, and a credit that we're creating chances, and a credit that we're really, really close to taking those chances. But Kansas City had a couple clear-cut chances that they didn't put on the frame. So, I can whine about hitting posts when Peter could probably whine about his players who should have put those on frame.
Kyle
McCarthy, Fox Soccer. And Jason, what do you say to your guys after this kind of game and the effort you put in and being able to take it all the way to that point and just not being able to get it done?
I'm a person that means what he says and says what he means, and I told him yesterday, and I've been telling him for a while, and I believe I told it in the press conference the other day, that for me there was no way for this group to lose. I think that we were in a no-lose situation in this match. I think that just by getting to this final, it was a remarkable statement about what this group of players has been able to do and what this group of men has been willing to do together. So for me, to lose on penalties, it's difficult, hard to swallow. Been to a lot of finals and not won enough. But I'm so proud of what the group has done all year that it's going to be quickly forgotten in my mind.
Steve.
Steve Davis, NBC. Considering how many chances you guys did create, if we'd said you'd create that many chances, good chances, would you think you would have won?
I don't know that I would have assumed that, Steve. I do think that I would have told you we would create those chances. So that came through. But I also think that Kansas City is a very dangerous team. So I would have said that I thought this game tonight probably could have been a little bit higher scoring and wouldn't have been surprised if it had ended 3-3.
Jason, if you can tell us about the field conditions. They have a heating system here. Was the field as you would have hoped given the heating system?
No. Whatever kind of system they've got, they need to look at revising it, making it better, because it was frozen. On the far side of the field was frozen the entire match. The goal box that was down closest to Sporting Kansas City's bench was completely frozen and made things difficult for both goalkeepers when they had to play in front of it.
Jason, Jeff Renner with KSTU in Salt Lake City over here. Taking out Wingert in the second half. Injury, yellow card, little of both?
Injury. He's a smart enough player and has had, so many times where he's played with the yellow card. It's not a problem for him, but he got smacked in the rib on that one defensive play that he made in the second half and just couldn't quite recover, wasn't moving well enough, and we felt like we needed to make the change.
Ready. Go ahead.
Tyler Page, Rail Nation. Jason, coming into this match, a lot of us thought that you had an advantage going into penalties because of Nick Rimando. Can you tell us your emotions going as you went into penalties, and did you feel confident, or how did you feel going into that?
I was asked this question actually last week. If we got to penalties, was I going to feel so overwhelmingly great because of Nick? The answer is no. For me, the penalty kick situations are like flipping a coin. On any given day, either team wins. You saw it there. They had a chance to win, then we had a chance to win, and then they won it. And on a different night, it goes a completely different way. A different night, Sebastian puts his goal in, and we're walking out of here with trophies and talking about how great we are.
James.
James Edward, Deseret News. Jason, maybe talk about the start of the game for your team, and then maybe how you really seemed to settle in toward the end of the first half and really maybe take control for a little while.
Yeah, I thought the start was really hectic for both teams. And again, I think a lot of that comes down to the playing surface. I think both teams just couldn't settle things down at all. We were panic stations when we got the ball, giving it away too cheaply. I think both teams played very direct in the first half, and it was just more of a battle than anything else. Once we got our guys to settle down a little bit towards the end of the first half, and certainly at the beginning of the second half, you see we finding passes, and that's where our goal came from.
Jason, Chris Comrani with the Salt Lake Tribune. Does a loss in penalties, maybe make you guys feel a little better, knowing that you competed for 120 minutes in a final and went 20 penalty kicks deep?
I think it's the unfortunate situation about losing in any fashion, is that the team is just going to remember that they lost. Kansas City's going to walk out of here knowing that they won. It's unfortunate. We drew. But since there aren't any draws in soccer and we got to go to penalties, it is what it is. I just want to make sure that my group doesn't walk away forgetting everything that they did this year, because it was a whole hell of a lot.
Jason Pablo DCist. If this actually ends up being your last game with Horsell, are you satisfied, leaving in this manner?
Again, doesn't it just go with what I just said, that I'm really, really pleased. Over the moon with what this group did this year. Surprised. I think they overachieved. I think they proved me wrong in the way I thought. It's just been an incredible year.
Jason, can you just describe the mood of the locker room when you walked in there? We missed the first part. Did you describe the mood of the locker room? The mood of the locker room, right?
The mood of the locker room. I'd advise you, if you have a choice, not to go in there. It's bad. It's real bad as it is. Not just to lose a game in the fashion we did, but it's the last game of the season. You know that there's inevitably changes. You know that the team as it is in completion won't be the same next year. There's always going to be guys that leave and new guys that come in, and it's an emotional completion to a long year.
Right here, James, and then we'll follow it up.
Could you maybe talk about the effort of Saborio and maybe how much pain he was playing through, especially in maybe the overtime?
I thought his effort was spectacular. It was, just like the last time he played the Galaxy game, the second one at home. I thought his effort was unmatched and unparalleled, and when he does that, he's an extremely good player, as you saw. So, extremely important player for us. Scores the goal that, you think might win you the game. And then he was cramping a little bit in the second half, and I think that has a lot to do, again, with the surface and the weather and the fact that he hadn't played 90 minutes in a month. But he battled through it. I'm really pleased with him.
Over to the right.
Matthew LaPlante, Seated Weekly. You mentioned there's inevitably changes, notwithstanding the questions about the head coach's future. Does this group feel like it's a core that's going to return? Is there already a sense that they're going to be together and they're going to be fighting for one of these again next year?
Oh, yeah, I believe so. I don't think that this team is going to be torn asunder or changed in any large ways. Again, they've been too successful to really do anything else. And the other thing is there's a ton of very young, talented players in this group.
Jeff Carlisle again. Jason, you mentioned earlier that it's a team that hasn't won enough finals. I mean, is that, to what extent is that this team's legacy? Do you think that's how it'll be remembered?
Don't mistake me. I'm not saying that in a disappointing way. I'm not standing here saying that this group should have won more finals. What I'm saying is it's remarkable that they got to so many finals. I think it's unbelievable that this group has put themselves in so many positions to win things, and unfortunately things just for one reason or another haven't gone our way. Very easy to look at that in a negative way, but I don't think we should, because frankly I thought we played outstanding tonight. It wasn't like we came here to defend, bunker in, or try to break them on a counter. So really proud of this group, and I think it's a fantastic soccer team.
We'll come here to the front, and then we'll go to Alan.
Alex Admiral, Sports Illustrated. You spoke before about how proud you are of the group and how they in many ways exceeded your expectations. with time, how do you think, based on what you know about the players, how do you think they'll look back on this year and particularly this game?
I think they'll look back on it the exact same way. I think that they all realize that this is a special group that was put together this year. The camaraderie and the fellowship in the locker room has been second to none. When you talk to some of the players individually, you get those exact same sentiments that this has been a special year and a special group to be a part of.
Hi, Alan Black, the San Francisco Chronicle. The Salt Lake fans really represented out there today. They were really great. Have you got a message for them?
I guess, I mean, you not being around Salt Lake don't hear it as much as I'm sure some of the Salt Lake reporters do, but for me it's unbelievable. I think the fans are spectacular. I can't have enough opportunities to tell them how much I appreciate everything that they do for us. Again, tonight was awesome, and we don't consider them outsiders in Real Salt Lake. We consider them as part of our family.
Jason, sorry if you addressed this before, but the weather, the cold, the field, anything, where were the influences in the game?
Yeah, I did address it earlier. I thought the field was a little bit unplayable. Unfortunately, it was frozen all up the opposite side of the field from our bench. And the goalkeeper's area to the right of our bench, the closest one to the Kansas City bench, was completely frozen. Nick said he was slipping every time he tried to push off. So those circumstances aren't ideal for soccer at all. I'm glad that we didn't see more injuries tonight. And I think it's something that not only this club, but all the clubs should address in the future. If we're going to have finals played in December, we need to have better heating systems.
Jason, Chris Camerani again. What was the thought process behind the substitution of Luis, in the 87th minute?
He was cramping.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought he was performing very well. But you ask from your players to be completely honest with you when they feel like they can't go anymore, and he came and told me that he was done.
Coach Kreis, for you personally, what are the next couple of days going to be like? What are your plans?
I was thinking about this morning, actually. But it's interesting that the last couple of weeks have been so hectic with all the details to consider and all the preparation for the match and families coming to the Cup and hotel rooms and tickets and everything else. But all of that was pretty easy. What happens over the next couple of days is real hard.
Any last questions to finalize it? Okay, we'll go right here.
Jason, is this one of the more draining seasons you've gone through as a coach? Just with how long it was and
No.
This
was one of the funnest seasons I've ever been a part of. It was the funnest season I've ever been a part of. For me, it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable to go out to training every day and ask these guys to do incredible things and have them all say absolutely, we want to do it. And it was incredible to make difficult decisions and have players accept those decisions graciously and always put the team first. Last night we were watching a highlight video and watching the goals that we scored and some great ones. But what was more appreciated by me was the celebrations. To see guys on the bench that typically are angry that they're not playing. Out there having the players that we're playing and scoring the goals come over to them and all celebrate together. Like there was not a care in the world for who scored it or when they scored it. It was just a big team effort.